Have you ever wondered if creation itself could be wrong? If even the gods might make mistakes? What if I told you there was once a sage so daring, so certain of his own vision, that he stood up against Brahma, the creator of the universe, and actually forced the world to change? This story isn't just about divine power. It's about the courage to challenge destiny, to ask questions when everyone else is silent, and to hold on to truth when the whole world seems set in its ways. In this video, we'll dig into one of the oldest and most thought-provoking tales from Indian mythology, the time a single sage stood up to Brahma and showed that even creation is not above questioning. You'll learn about the setting, the stakes, what happened, and why this ancient story matters even now. Before we set forth together, subscribe and keep the light of these timeless stories shining on your path. The sun was just beginning to rise over the sprawling forest of Naimisha. Every leaf looked edged in gold. The air buzzed with the energy of dawn. At the center, sitting by a quiet riverbank, was a sage named Prithu, his eyes sharp, focused, a man with the look of someone who had spent years searching for truth. Sage Prithu wasn't ordinary. He was known for his unwavering commitment to knowledge and his stubborn refusal to blindly accept what he was told. He closed his eyes, thinking about the world around him. The birds sang, water flowed, creatures scurried through the brush. All parts of what was supposed to be Brahma's perfect creation. But something didn't make sense. Prithu had seen too much suffering, too many flaws, humans making the same mistakes, hearts breaking, endless pain playing out in cycles. Was this truly perfection? Was this the best that even Brahma could manage? He remembered his conversation with his father, Varuna, the Lord of Waters. Father, why is there sorrow in this world? If Brahma created everything, why must we suffer? Varuna, wise and mysterious, answered, creation goes beyond what you or I can guess, Prithu. Brahma's wisdom is infinite. But Prithu shook his head. That answer wasn't enough. He believed he owed it to himself and to the suffering he saw, to question even the mightiest gods. He spent nights walking under the stars and days meditating, trying to glimpse the truth. The forests were his temple, and he found peace only in answers, not in tradition. At last, with anger and hope twisted together in his heart, he sat cross-legged and decided to confront Brahma himself. Traveling to the cosmic mountain of Meru, Prithu entered Brahmaloka, a realm of shining light and endless possibility, where time barely brushed past. Gods and sages gathered there, each one respectful, kneeling in reverence. But Prithu walked in, eyes steady, refusing to bend. The hall was vast, echoing with the silent power of creation itself. Brahma sat on a lotus, his face calm but unreadable. 4 faces, looking in all directions, suggested total awareness. But Prithu stared straight at the front. Great Brahma, he said, his voice strong, clear. You created all things. I must know, why did you make a world so full of pain? Why is your creation flawed? A hush fell on the crowd. No one spoke to Brahma this way. For a moment, time itself seemed to hold its breath. Brahma's many faces softened. Child, he replied, suffering and joy both arise from the karma of living beings. The world is as it must be. Prithu would not let it go. But why must the innocent suffer? Why do good people fail and the wicked thrive. Is this fair? Is this perfection? A conversation began, more like a battle of minds than words. Bhrigu pressed, and Brahma explained the law of karma, the cycles of birth and rebirth, the reasons for every fate. Still, the sage refused to accept an answer that dodged responsibility. Through his determination, Bhrigu called upon his inner strength. If the creation is unjust, then the creator must be questioned, he declared. His words rang out, bouncing off the golden pillars, making gods stir uneasily in the shadows. Brahma, for all his stature, suddenly looked shaken. It's one thing to be worshipped, it's another to be held accountable. For the first time, the possibility of error hovered over his throne. Bhrigu proposed a test. Let us see if flawlessness truly exists. I will create beings of my own. Let them live for a while, and then you compare their lives to the world you have made. If you can find no greater happiness, then I accept your wisdom. Brahma, with perfect poise, agreed, but his heart beat just a little faster. Such a challenge had never been made. Was perfection really unchallengeable? Days passed. Bhrigu worked like a man possessed, gathering elements of existence, pouring his soul and intent into each living creature. He focused on empathy, kindness, intelligence, and fairness. He imagined worlds where justice was not a question, but an everyday truth. He created not by brute power, but by intent, pouring every lesson in suffering and every longing for happiness into what he made. For a while, his creations flourished, showing a kindness and cooperation that Brahma's universe seemed to lack. They helped each other, shared pain and happiness, built friendships, celebrated, resolved disputes with patience, never descending into cruelty or endless cycles of revenge. When one was reached out for help, another was always near to answer. No one starved, no one was left behind. Suffering, though it sometimes happened by accident, never lasted without comfort. The gods watched, uncertain, whispering among themselves. Was this the proof Bhrigu sought? Was the world's pain truly a mistake, not fate? But creation is never simple. Before long, tiny cracks appeared. Jealousy, misunderstanding, tiny seeds of pride and hurt. Even in Bhrigu's world, carefully separated from the real world, existing like a bubble beside it, disharmony crept in, not from the creator, but from the very freedom he had given his creations. Distraught but unwilling to give up, Bhrigu worked harder, mending problems, guiding his creations gently. But the flaws multiplied. Effort alone couldn't erase every imperfection. Happiness and pain always shadowed each other. At last, Bhrigu sat before Brahma once more, exhausted but wiser. I see now, Bhrigu admitted. Even with my will, my compassion, suffering finds a way in. Perhaps it's part of being alive. But does that mean we must accept it? Can we not keep trying to make the world better? Brahma smiled, sadly, kindly. You have learned what every creator must learn. Perfection is not the absence of flaws, but the courage to keep seeking better. Bhrigu thought back over everything, his doubts, his labor, the imperfect but beautiful attempts of living beings to understand one another. He could see now what Brahma meant. It wasn't about blind acceptance, but about relentless hope, the drive to improve. He looked at Brahma. I apologize for doubting you, but I do not regret questioning. What are we, if not seekers? Brahma nodded, voice gentle. May all beings keep asking, keep challenging. That is true creation. And so, the sage who challenged Brahma's creation did not defeat the Creator, nor was he defeated. Instead, he discovered a deeper wisdom. The world is neither hopelessly cursed nor perfectly finished. The work of creating, of asking questions, of pushing for something better belongs to all of us. Since then, the story of Sage Brigu has passed from age to age, reminding us, never stop questioning, never settle for what doesn't make sense, and always, even when the odds are overwhelming, believe you can make a difference, even if the very sky must shift to accommodate your truth. Now, if you found this story inspiring or thought-provoking, check out the next video to dive even deeper into the mysteries of creation.